Welcome to Garden Sanity. I'm Laura, and we have just finished another heat wave where we had, yesterday for example, the heat indices were 107. So this is my first morning to get out here and actually not boil and melt, or have the camera boil and melt, and show you what the front looks like. But in particular, I wanted to show you what the Firelight Tidbits look like. I planted these 3 months ago, so I wanted to give you a close-up look of how they look 3 months later. So here's what they looked like 3 months ago, the end of April when I planted them. As you can see, daffodils were still up, and not much else was blooming yet. And these were nice and small, and at that point I had hoped to get maybe 1 or 2 flowers on them. And then in early June, this is what they looked like. I had a few flowers just starting, and I was really excited about that. And 3 months later after planting, in late July, this is what they look like. Aren't they beautiful? Now, this is some Lantana Bandana Gold next to it, which is an annual. And of course, Geranium Roseanne has made fast friends with the Firelight Tidbit. Now, giving it a close-up look, I think it survived the latest heat wave pretty well. We used the sprinklers because we did not get as much rain as we had hoped. But only a few of these newer ones that are more limelight green are the ones that have a little bit of brown on them. You can see some started pink already. And then we have these beautiful white ones over here. And this is all on one plant. Now, mind you, I had hoped I would get at least 1 or 2 blooms on these. Boy, am I happy to see that. Now, you'll also see down here, I don't know if you can see in the shade, there's a little bit of 1 or 2 yellow leaves down there. Now, that's to be not surprising at all. That is, heat stress, water stress, the fact that the plants still look like this and still have some new blooms coming out is fantastic. Now, this is the one, let me step back so you can see. This is the one that's in the middle of the bed, in the front. And then there's one on each end. So let's take a closer look at those as well. Now these beautiful blue flowers, this is Beach Bum Blue evolvulus, or Dwarf Morning Glory. So this is an annual that spreads, and it usually doesn't start spreading till the heat kicks in. So now that we've had some crazy heat, I think it's going to start spreading more. Beautiful blue flowers, but they don't stay open all day. And some people don't like them for that reason, but I think they're beautiful. I wanted to try them this year because, the very front of this edging does stay kind of hot. And it looks good, and I even see a very tiny pollinator back there who also seems to like them. Now, this one looks like it's got a branch that got a little bit dried out. It's drooping a little bit, but it's not broken, so that's good. But you can see it got a little bit of heat stress. You can kind of see the leaves aren't so great. But let's go look a little bit closer. And you have another beautiful flower head just starting. And look at how amazing this white flower is. Now, I'm zooming in close so it looks large. So let me step back so you get the idea. And I'll go down here. So you see, that's the bottom of the garden, so to speak. So it's a rather tiny little tidbit, thus the name. But the petals are just so cute. Oh my goodness. I just absolutely love them. And of course I have a couple more in the lime green category with a little bit of pink. I'm just loving these. And again, on this side, you've got the peach drift roses and the Pinky Winky Hydrangeas that are in their whitey phase. Not the pinky phase yet. All right. Then you saw the Dwarf Morning Glory. So pretty. And then this is a pancake arborvitae. It's got lovely blue-green color, and you know what? It looked like it came through just fine in this latest extreme heat we had. I don't really see one or two needles that maybe have a tiny bit of brown on them, but for the most part, it's happy, which is good. And then you have all the Geranium Roseanne, which is my favorite part of this front bed in the summer because Rozanne just spreads and does her thing. I have 2 Rozanne plants on each side of the knockout rows, and it kind of morphs into one giant plant. You know, it kind of goes behind this Firelight Tidbit in the center. Now, obviously, the knockouts need some loving care. They got a little fried, I think, in the sun. They need some deadheading, which I'll come out and do. Now, back here in the shade, you have some of the Ivory Prince hellebores that I planted this year. So next year's winter season is going to be the first I get to see how these do. I'm sure they'll be great. But you can see this is a lovely evergreen perennial in the summertime. It gets some sun, but mostly in the shade. And then that's the color guard yucca, and it's right here. Now the thing is, I do have some of the hellebores over here, and these got a little bit more fried. They're more in the sun. You can see this, a little too much sun for this guy. And same for this. There's 2 more back there, and they're doing great because they are in more shade. But I'm not too worried about these because they do have some new leaves starting out. And they'll be okay, but they did get a little fried. It's good for me to know in the future. Maybe I'll cover them up with some other annuals or perennials next year. Have the other color guard yucca looking beautiful. And then this is a pile of perennial ageratum and some Sedum autumn fire that just kind of wanted to grow here. It already is sort of past its prime on some of this. Others, it's just starting. You see, you got a nice, it's still green here. I didn't bother cutting it back. This isn't the best spot for it, and I do plan to dig it up and move it elsewhere because it does get a little bit too much moisture here, and sedum don't like that much moisture, whereas the perennial ageratum do, which is probably why they're more thriving here. But you can see, for example, even though there's flowers here, you see how the leaves don't look super healthy. They're a little bit, that's not because they're bleached out by the sun, it's just a little bit too much moisture. And then you have the yellow is the bandana gold. I think I had mentioned that earlier, which is also very pretty annual. I wish it was perennial here. And now that the heat kicked in, that is also going to start spreading very nicely. But look at the Geranium Roseanne. That is something. That is just beautiful. And then that takes us over here. So I'm going to show you a comparison. When I first planted these the end of April, one of the things I talked about was growing the peach drift roses a little bit larger so that they would be visible behind the Firelight Tidbits, and that they would be a little bit larger and blooming in front of the Pinky Winky Hydrangeas, who at the time of that filming weren't even really leafing out much yet. And then in early June, again, you can see the difference between the 3 plants. And now, let me step back so you can see, look what we have. The Pinky Winkies are in their white phase. Now, I will tell you this, everything is so much later this year. I want to say it's about 2 weeks later. Now, and just for comparison's sake of things being late, here is our Muskogee crepe myrtle this morning, end of July 2023, not one single flower on it. Now, look at the same tree 1 year ago, end of July 2022, covered with flowers. So I don't even know if we're getting flowers this year or if they're just really late. And normally for the Pinky Winkies, we usually have some pink by this point. And what you will notice with these is they're still developing their flowers. You see, here's one close up I can show you. See that? Get out of the way of the bees. But yeah, they have some of the flowers opened up. but a lot of them still have yet to open. And because of that, and I didn't know obviously things were going to be late this year, but because of that, that's another reason I wanted to keep the drift roses a little bit higher. Those are peach drift roses, especially because they'll bloom on and off all summer long. So it gives some nice color to the front of this bed, which faces the street. And then the nicest addition, of course, I think, is to have some hydrangeas blooming way much earlier than the Pinky Winkies. Now this one on the end here is also very interesting because it has lime green flowers. And again, those seem to have a little bit of brown on them. We've got a nice white flower with some edging in pink a little bit. This one seems like it got a little fried, but it's still pretty. You know, I'm not one of those that necessarily gets mad at the browning. I think it's all on the same plant. It actually looks really beautiful. And then let's step back here a little bit. Again, look at this. 1, 2, 3. 3 new flower heads that are starting. This one in the middle is on its way, but look at this. You even have right back there. So that is really pretty. And again, having it in the front of the garden. For comparison again, I'll show you what this bed looked like a year ago in July. You can see it was still very beautiful. The difference was I had grasses there. I had Hamlin grasses, and those I removed. Well, I had landscapers remove those when they were here for another project. It saved me some backbreaking work. But anyway, what I did was I replaced those, and they left me nice holes, and it was easy to just plant these Firelight Tidbits in their place, and I love it. I love having more flowers up here. So I hope you've enjoyed seeing how these look 3 months later. Like I said, they've exceeded my expectations. And watch this video next, and it'll show you how I planted them, but also give you hardiness zones, growing information, and you'll see how windy it was that day. The camera actually fell over. Worth a watch. Until next time, happy gardening.